So in this video we're going to look at communicating the results of the project with a report. So a project actually has inbuilt kind of default reports which you can produce. So obviously if you're in a meeting, you have to go somewhere, instead of bringing your computer or putting it up on the screen, you can print off and pre-install their default reports and everything. So it's just a useful thing. So we'll just have a quick look at that. So they're all ready-made reports that show key information about your project. So to show you how this works, we're going to click on the report tab. So you can go along here. So we have a report, it's between project and resource. So click on the report tab, and then the first category in the dashboard is, here are the different types of reports. So we have new report, dashboards, resources, cost, in progress, getting started. So again, depending on what information you need to communicate, there's different reports. But just for example, we're going to look at in the dashboard. So if we click on the little dashboard drop down menu, we're going to look at the burn down report. So here we have two graphs. So one showing the work status and the other showing how many tasks are complete. So we'll see here, this is the work burn down. So you can see it's just a color-coded graph, straightforward enough. So the blue line on this side is the remaining cumulative work. See, it's going in a downward trend. And the grey line is the baseline remaining cumulative work, again going down a downward trend. And the orange line is the remaining cumulative actual work. So you might see strange, like these two are actually going down, but this orange line is actually above here. So what this actually means, when we see an orange line in this situation, it means that not as much work has been done as you planned. So the actual project is going to be a bit behind schedule. So, these type of reports are actually useful to help see where things are going now. In this case, it's probably because we haven't actually filled out all the details. So along the time, some tasks we've put in completion work for some of the tasks, not others. So in this example, it's it isn't looking very good. But then again, we haven't actually filled in all the details. So next, we're going to go to the report tab and we're going to click on the resources. So again, to go back out of this to the next report, click into the report tab. We're going to click on resources. So again, there's two different options, over allocated resources and the resource overview. So we're going to look at the resource overview. Give this a click and you see it shows up. So here the resource overview shows the work status for each resource, and on the right hand side it shows the percentage of work done by the different resources. So again, it's a useful one to look at. You can see all the different, you've got diagnostic lead physician, construction, that's myself there. I've got nothing, I've got no actual work and no remaining work. Handy job, but again I haven't actually assigned anything to myself. So then hospitality, so you see just breaks it all down nice, clear, different way, and you have a little summary table here. So again, you have to print off your results. These are actually as useful ones to actually use. And we'll look at the other resource one again, which is, we're going to go back. So again, back to report, we'll look at resources and we'll click on the over allocated one. So yeah, you might notice actually there's no over allocated resource here because we actually sorted out our over allocations earlier on. So if you don't see anything on here, this means our resources haven't been over allocated. So, but earlier on, before we actually fix that over allocation, this information would have shown up here on the graph. And again, it's also a good way to see if you do start to have over allocations. It's a very big, complicated project. Going into the report will then help you identify exactly where it is. So the next one we're going to do, again, back to report, we're going to look at the cash flow. So we can go into the cost. So the cost is obviously very, very important for any project. So the first one we're going to look at cash flow. So here we have the cash flow report. So this shows where money is spent in the project. As this is a short project, it doesn't actually tell us very much just because of the way we have it set up. So if we just click on the graph, you'll see over on the right hand side this field list comes up. So we can actually change the time period. So if we click on the little edit button, and then we're going to change the time period. So we're going to click and change this. Currently it's set to quarters. So obviously quarters, because the year divided into quarters, but our project actually is much shorter, so it isn't a good time scale to use. So we're going to change this to weeks and then just click OK. So now we can see how much money was spent each week during the life of the project. So the cumulative cost. So the first week, as you can see, it's actually going up and up and up and up. So again, it's another good way to actually look at the overall costs, and you can, based on the information, we haven't put in all the information fully yet, but we can see along the top here has the actual cost, the baseline cost, the remaining cost, and then the variance that there is. So this is kind of good as you're going along. If you've got weekly reports, you have to go to the project manager, you can print these off or show them up on your screen just to show how the costs are actually going and if they're staying in place. It's just another useful thing. So the next one we're going to look at, we're going to go to the report tab. And we're going to choose the report tab, and we're going to look at the in progress report. So if we click the little drop down menu, Again, there's a few different ones here, but we're going to look at the slipping tasks. So this shows a graph to the left with info on the work that remains. The table on the right lists the tasks that are slipping, and that means that the finish date is later than the actual baseline finish date. So again, that just gives you a quick overview. You can identify where issues are going to be happening. So again, lots of stuff, lots of information here. And if once you have actually a working project going and you're filling it up as you're going along, a lot of this will make a lot more sense. And these are kind of good when you've got your weekly meetings about how the project is going with your site manager or your investors and everything. This type of information they want to be looking at. So just a quick intro here on how to build reports. In any assignments I'll tell you specifically what reports you need to actually produce and print. But just hopefully this will give you a quick look through and see where they all are. If you want, you can click on the reports and have a look through all the other ones while you're waiting, just to see what other options there are. And hopefully this will be enough to keep you going for the time being. So we'll just click the save project now for the moment. And again, if you want to go back to the original Gantt chart, we can just click on task, go back to Gantt chart, and you bring it back to where we started. So hopefully project is a little bit less daunting now. And any questions, just send me an email or send it in the chat box and I'll be happy to help. Okay, thank you.